branch offers 30 postgraduate programs by research and one program by coursework for local and international candidates. You can get more details about postgraduate programs at ipsis.uitm.edu.my. And for general information, our Academy of Language Studies consists of English, Arabic, and Mandarin departments with 36 lecturers to cater for undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Currently, it offers postgraduate programs by research such as LD 750 Master in Applied Language Studies and LG 950 Doctor of Philosophy Applied Language Studies. For three languages, we have English, Arabic, and Mandarin. Okay, so we have two moderators today. It is me. I am Dr. Nadhilah binti Abdul Pisal from UiTM Perlis branch. And the second moderator, we have Daw Thuzar Win from Yangon Technological University. Let us welcome Daw Thuzar Win.
Thank you, Dr. Nadhilah. I like to say Mangalore and good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be a moderator here for today's webinar. I'm Daw Win, an assistant lecturer of the Department of English at Yangon Technological University. Now, I'd like to introduce our university and Department of English. Let me show the picture of our university and our Department of English.
Okay.
This is our university, Yangon Technological University. It's one of the prestigious university in Myanmar, the premier engineering university of Myanmar. It offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degree programs in engineering disciplines to nearly 8,000 students. It possesses 14 engineering departments, 6 supporting departments, 2 research centers, and 74 laboratories. Yes, there are currently about 2,000 students seeking knowledge and experiences at YTU. Our English department, it's one of the supporting departments in Yangon Technological University. It provides engineering students with the necessary language skills, specifically English language. So, there are 11 teaching teachers in our Department of English. And for more information, you can get more details at www.ytu.edu.mm. Thank you, Dr. Nadhilah.
Okay, thank you, Daw Thuzar Win. So, beautiful university. Okay, our theme for today is meeting the challenges of language educators during the uncertain future. And we have 6 interesting topics today by our speakers. 3 speakers are from Academy of Language Studies, UiTM Perlis, and another 3 speakers from Department of English, Yangon Technological University. I will introduce the speakers from UiTM Perlis, and Daw Thuzar Win will introduce 3 speakers from Yangon University. Okay, the speakers from UiTM Perlis. From UiTM Perlis, we have Dr. Latisha Asmaak Shafie, Dr. Mohamad Fadhili Yahaya, and Ms. Noor Azira Mohamad Radzi. Okay, Daw Thuzar Win, how about our speakers from Yangon Technological University? Please introduce them for us.
Yes, here we have 3 speakers from Yangon Technological University. Teacher Daw Thuzar, Associate Professor, Daw Thuzar Win, Lecturer, and Daw Zarchi Yu Aung, Lecturer. Yes.
Okay, before we start, let me explain how you can talk to us during the webinar. In International School webinar, we'll start with a short speech from Madam Fatmawati Zakaria, the Head of Studies, Academy of Language Studies, UiTM Perlis branch, followed by a speech by the Head of English Department, Daw Sein, our Associate Prof. Then we will start the presentations of our six speakers, there will be a Q&A, question and answer session at the end for the speakers to answer your questions. If you have any questions during the presentation, just write them to chat. We will send you all the relevant links for your attendance during the webinar. So don't worry, just enjoy this webinar and don't forget to mute your microphone. Okay, please mute your microphone. Now we will start. Now we would like to invite Head of Academy of Language Studies, UiTM Perlis branch, Madam Fazmawati Zakaria, to give a speech. Madam Fazmawati, are you here?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera and good morning to everyone. Selamat datang. Welcome to University Technology Mara Perlis branch, to Daw Sein, Head of Department, Daw Win, Daw Thuzar Win, Daw Zarchi Yu Aung, and our colleagues from Department of English, Yangon Technological University. On behalf of University Technology Mara Perlis branch and specifically Academy of Language Studies, I would like to express our sincere happiness and gratefulness to the Department of English, Yangon Technological University for our first collaboration. I really hope we can work together in forthcoming collaborations. And I would also like to thank Center of Postgraduate Studies, University Technology Mara, Perlis branch for making this collaboration a reality. All right, let me give you an overview of the function of Academy of Language Studies in UiTM Perlis branch. Now, the staff from this academy teach and supervise pre-diploma, diploma, degree and postgraduate students. We offer English for pre-diploma and diploma students and English and one third language, either Mandarin, Arabic or Japanese language, to the degree students. And I'm pleased to announce that this academy offers two research programs, LG 750, Master of Applied Language Studies, and LG 950, Doctor of Philosophy, Applied Language Studies for English, Mandarin, and Arabic languages. Our educators are experienced researchers who are from various fields such as curriculum design and evaluation, literature, online, distance learning and instructional technology, education, social media and digital studies, transdisciplinary studies, and translation. We would like to welcome all our colleagues from Department of English Yangon Technological University to collaborate with us. Now, the coronavirus pandemic has definitely caused serious consequences to the education system. Students and educators are forced to realize that they have to embrace the new norm in learning and teaching. For example, online and internet education has become an integral element in education system, and thus students as well as educators have to be fully prepared for all possibilities and ready to harness available technology. We learned that we have to equip our learners and our learning institution to succeed during uncertain times. And today, we are very lucky to have the opportunity to organize this international scholar webinar with a team meeting the challenges of language education of educators during the uncertain future. I really hope we can share, learn, and improve our practices through this knowledge sharing platform. Sekian, terima kasih. Thank you. Back to you, Dr. Nadhilah.
Now I'd like to...
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm here. Thank you, Madam Fazmawati, for the speech. Now, I will pass to our next moderator, Daw Thuzar Win, to welcome Head of English Department from Yangon Technological University. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Hello, teacher PPC. I'd like to invite you to deliver a welcome speech for this webinar.
Yes, for a minute. Thank you, darling. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to have a chance to speak at this auspicious ceremony. Firstly, I would like to say thank you to the Center of Postgraduate Studies, UiTM, Perlis Branch, and Academy of Language Studies, UiTM, Perlis Branch, for giving us the opportunities to participate in this International Scholar webinar. And also, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Latisha for inviting us to join this webinar. As our moderator said, our university, YTU, is a premier and the oldest universities in Myanmar. But unfortunately, the university had been closed for about 2 decades because of our country's political condition from 1988 to 2012. In 2012, December, we had a chance to reopen it. There have been many changes during those periods, and we have lost many intellectual properties and facilities. Now we are trying to regain our previous success under the guidance of our adult, our great teachers, the alumni, and the authorities of the Ministry of Education. Actually, this is our very first experience and very first step for our department's internationalizations in new normal life, and one of the most important activities for our university. So from this webinar, I hope that we will gain a lot of valuable experiences and knowledge concerned with language education and new language teaching styles. And I do believe that we can build friendly and close relationship between our institutions. Finally, I would like to say it again. Thank you to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pisal, for your welcome speech.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, now we can begin. Our first speaker is Dr. Latisha Asmaak Shafie. She is the head of postgraduate studies and a senior lecturer in Academy of Language Studies. Her topic is enhancing international collaborative skills in converging contexts. Okay, let us welcome her. Dr. Latisha, please welcome.
All right, thank you very much. All right. The first one would be Mingalah Barshin. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So that would be good morning. Hello, everybody. Okay. And let's say I'm going to present. Okay. All right. Can everybody see this one, my slide? Nadhilah, can you see my slide? All right. Okay, I think so.
Okay, yes.
Okay, let's see. Thank you very much. I have about 50 minutes. I try to present as fast as I can. All right. So when we are talking about my topic will be enhancing international collaborative skills in converging contexts. I'll be talking about 3 aspects. The first one would be definitely international collaboration. Second one, I'm going to talk about converging contexts. The third one, collaborative skills. And the fourth one would be what is the process? And the last one, definitely examples of collaborations that we can do. So I'm moving to the second one. Okay. The second one would be why international collaboration. So international collaboration, what is the definition? Meaning that we have to form global partnership and relationship with other institutions. Meaning that apart from
sorry for interruption, can you make the slide full screen?
The first screen. Okay, the full screen, isn't it? I have problem with this one. Can I just do this one?
Okay, no problem. You cannot. Okay, just go.
Okay. So don't worry about the screen because I think that you could have the access of the copy of the slide, right? So going back, meaning that we no longer can sit on our campus. So we got to go out because we need to form global partnership and relationship with other institutions. Why is that so? Because definitely because of internationalization and globalization, meaning that we have to go out and form partnership with other institutions around the world. And definitely because of we have multiple communication channels. For example, we have the WhatsApp, we have the Gmail, all right, and we have, let's say, for example, we have the WebEx, and during pandemic era, we don't even have to see one another, and we have the Google Meet to meet and discuss, to collaborate, to present. And I think that I emailed Associate Professor Phyu through the Gmail. Luckily, she answered, and all the communication was done via Gmail. And definitely might be after this, right? After seeing each other virtually, after the pandemic, we'll be able to see one another because of inexpensive travel. And definitely, we have to have start saying that we have to enhance our academic visibility as global educators and researchers. So we can no longer be in our country. We have to go out. We have to collaborate with people to enhance our academic visibility, not just as a personal and professional. We have to enhance our institution's visibility, and definitely through best practice, through the sharing of ideas, evidence-based practice, and the exchange of information, we can enhance our academic performance among the faculty members and the students. And definitely by having this internal collaboration, that would be good on our CV as educators and our students' CVs, because they would have global experiences. And definitely the last one, because we are together as the community, we're going to save the planet together. This enhance our global citizenship, accepting diversity, sharing human experience, and interdependence. Right. And I'm going to go to the second point, that will be converging context. So I'm sure that if you realize now, we have this converging context, the context, different context, online or offline context would come together, meeting, and then we have these blurred out boundaries between online and offline context. For example, right? For example, okay, how many of us have several Facebook account, or do we have one to cater for all? And then how many of us have friends who are online friends and also offline friends? So, and then definitely this comes with the local and global context together. We no longer have local friends, we have international friends sharing this context together, and definitely it brings multiple audiences. For example, let's say I would have my boss as my friend. She can see my Facebook, right? And I can also have my family members seeing, right? Seeing what do I share, the content, and I have my students. And this content, they converge together, and that would create chaos. And definitely we'll be asking, what are our identities? What would be our brand? What do we project, these personal, professional, or institutional identities? Are they conflicted or are they constant? Do people look at us, okay, as serious academicians, all right, or academic members, or do we give other identities? So that is why when we are doing this, let's say, online collaboration, I'm sure that the reason I choose Yangon Technological University, because they look so professional and serious. I could look at Associate Professor Phyu, and I could look at the list of the staff, and I can see that these people, they're very serious about language educators. Right. Okay. Yeah. And then I'm going to go to the skills. The third aspect would be the skills. So what are the skills, right, that we need? I'm going to focus on 3 skills. The first one would be communication skills. I'm sure that we have to listen to people, we have to write communication, the verbal communication, the non-verbal communication. This is the communication skills that when we collaborate with people, especially people from different diverse values, right, and then culture, we have to be sensitive with that one, which the second collaborative skill, which is emotional intelligence, comes important. For example, resilient, not being offended easily. I'm sure that if Associate Professor Phyu is easily offended, we wouldn't have this sort of collaboration. Trust me, because I made a lot of mistakes. She was very patient. She was very curious of what we want to do. She has the empathy and the compassion, right? and then respect for diversity. So this one would be, for example, this collaboration wouldn't be able to happen if not, for example, for Associate Professor Phyu, because she has respect for diversity, right? And what we want to do would be, we actually want this one to work because we believe that Academy of Language Studies, UiTM Perlis, has a lot to offer with the Department of English, Yangon Technological University, all right? And then that will be collaborative skills, all right? So as I said before, these are the three skills that are important. And then I'm going to go through the process, okay? I'm sure that you're going to ask me, how does this work, all right? So this is, I think that this is the process. So the process that what we are doing, the first one, what you want, when you want to do an international collaboration, you have to identify what project can we do. For example, during pandemic era, we couldn't visit one another. So I was thinking that perhaps we would have the webinar so we can share things, right? The language differences, yes, definitely. They will be talking Burmese, we are talking Malay, but we have the English language as the separating. And definitely we would have the time factor. I think that Yangon Technological University, they're very cooperative, because I think at India country it's 8 o'clock, if I'm not 8:30 a.m. So I was asking Associate Professor Phyu, was it okay to have a webinar so early? She does not say anything, so I thought that it's okay, all right? And definitely we have to consider about the time factor, and definitely the intellectual properties later on. This one according to Freshwater, Sherwood and Drury 2006. And definitely once you identify the project and your partner, you got to initiate. So it started with a simple email asking, trying my luck that, okay, would you be interested to have a collaborative webinar with us, all right? And I was hoping for a yes, and luckily she said yes. And then after exchange of email, very easy to work with Department of English, Yangon Technological University, was just exchange email. I think that I'm lucky on that in that area. And then we implement, right? The implementation, right? We agree on certain times, and then give the link, and there they are, and there we are. And let's say, for example, after this, I'm sure that I would love, if let's say this work, we would love to work together. There would be other projects. So this would be the basis, the foundation, the start of, I think, a beautiful relationship. And definitely while doing that one, we would enrich. So might be there would be something that doesn't work. So we would tweak that thing and we would include something else. So that would be enriched. I think this is a process that you can say you do identify, initiate, and then implement, evaluate, and enrich, right? So as I said before, this is just a suggestion, right? Then I'm going to go to the last one, right? So I'm sure that you'll be asking me, what are the things that you can do with other learning institutions or companies, right? This is the example. So meaning that now we have these multiple learning communities, global educators, researchers, okay, we could have professional development in terms of conferences, seminar, webinar, let's say courses, right? And then we could have postgraduate supervision, meaning that we could supervise your student and you can supervise our students. So as I think that Dr. Nadhilah already said that we have LG 750 and LG 950, okay, master and Doctor of Philosophy, Applied Language Studies, right? In let's say English, Arabic, and Mandarin, and definitely research collaboration. So we can go for international grant. There will be a lot of research opportunity in ESL, EFL, CASOL, bilingual education, literature, language. We could compare and contrast the student there with our students, and then we can have a lot of things over there, right? So there will be a lot of areas. So yes, I'm excited about research collaboration, and definitely we can do will be academic writing collaboration. We can forego for Q1 and Q2, the Scopus and the index journal. We can work together because we have, remember, we have the multiple communication channel, so we don't have to see one another what we are writing together. So I'm so excited about this one. And definitely later on, when the pandemic is eliminated, then we would have staff mobility. So let's say the staff from Yangon Technological University can come here, and then we can send our staff over there, all right? And definitely this open transdisciplinary research, meaning that we're not just going to focus on English, we can go for other languages, for example, Mandarin, Burmese, and then Arabic, and so on. And definitely another one would be global classroom, meaning that, for example, we could actually ask a lecturer, English lecturer in UiTM Perlis to teach via, let's say, webinar, right, or Google Classroom to teach your students, and your lecturer to teach our students. So at least we can give global experience to our students, and definitely we would have the online language camp, right? And definitely later on the student mobility. So I'm very excited about that one. So I would like to end my speech with this word, right? Okay. Margaret Double once said, when nothing is sure, everything is possible. I think that when you're not sure about the future, it's possible for us to do almost everything. And I would like to end my presentation with thank you in Burmese. I'm sorry if I butcher the pronunciation. Chai Zotin Bate. It says that thank you. Right, that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Latisha. Okay, it is an interesting topic. From this, we can get some information that international collaborations. From this international collaboration, we can sharing ideas and information from webinar or writing research, and also these international collaborations also good for global experience, not only for lecturers but also for students. And we can use a lot of things to do international collaborations, such as we can use social media platforms, websites, and email. Okay, last but not least, we can build identities and brands for personal branding, professional, institutional, and also for universities by collaborations like this. Okay, next. Next, I will pass the floor to Daw Zarchi Win. Okay, Daw Zarchi Win.
Thank you, Dr. Nadhilah.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Now, our first speaker from YTU Yangon Technological University is Daw Thuzar. She's an associate professor and head of the Department of English at Yangon Technological University, Myanmar. She started working at State Agricultural High School in Dago, Go region in 1986. She moved to Technical High School outside in 1993. Then she joined master course at YTU in 2000 and received the degree, master, and English for specific purposes in 2002. Then she served as a teacher at technical colleges in remote areas. Then she is transferred to YTU in 2006 and has been serving there until now. Then she published one international paper in 2017 and one national paper in 2019. Now she teaches master courses at YTU. Yes. Now she will be giving us a presentation on contribution of language teachers in universities during the pandemic period. Let us welcome teacher Daw.
Thank you, darling. Now. Yeah, sure. Mingalaba. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to talk about the contribution of language teachers in universities during the pandemic period. I'm Phyu from English Department of Yangon Technological University in Myanmar. And since this is our first meeting, I would like to include the introduction of our university and our department. I have divided my presentation into 4 main parts. The first one is background history of YTU and current situation. The second one is Department of Languages. And third one is education in Myanmar. And finally, I will present contribution of language teacher in universities. First, background history of YTU and current situation. This is our university. And YTU began in 1924 as a department of engineering under the University of Yangon. It was situated in downtown Yangon. You know, Yangon is the former capital of Myanmar and the commercial city in Myanmar. YTU had 2 lecturers and 70 students at the beginning, and the civil engineer is the only discipline at that time. In 1938, mechanical and electrical engineering course was introduced, and in 1946, it became the Faculty of Engineering. In 1961, it moved to present location in Sein Township, west of Yangon, and it was 138.5 acres wide. And more disciplines were added in 1950s and 60s. And 64, it became an independent technological university. It was no longer under the Yangon University, and it offered bachelor degrees in engineering and architecture. In 68-69, it became master courses. We have changed 3 names throughout our history. Firstly, Rangoon Institute of Technology, R&D, in 1963, Yangon Institute of Technology, YIT, in 1990, and YTU in 1998. In 1988, YTU was closed, and it had been closed for 2 decades. In December 2012, we have a chance to reopen it. During these 2 decades, we have no undergraduate programs, but postgraduate programs only. This is the background history of YTU. And I'm going to talk about the current situation of YTU. And since 2012, December, we have accepted new intake. And every year we accept above 300 students for postgraduate programs and 160 students for, undergrad programs and 160 for postgraduate programs, master's and PhD programs. So we have totally 1,800 undergraduate students and 400 postgraduate students every year. And we have altogether 48 disciplines. The next topic I'm going to talk about is the Department of Languages. Actually, our department is English department as well as the Department of Languages. It means that our authorities, they have intended to support and the students in their language needs. Currently, we are teaching Japanese, French, Chinese, German, Korean languages in their 4th year for only 1 semester with the help of respective agency and University of Foreign Languages. And our department is a supporting department, and in YTU, there are altogether 6 supporting departments: engineering mathematics, engineering physics, engineering chemistry, engineering geology, Myanmar, and English. Since we are the supporting department, and we do not offer any degree. And then there are altogether 11 teaching staff and 1 office staff in our department. All teaching staff are master's degree holders. Here, I would like to talk about our teaching staff system. At present, our country is practicing the centralization system and transfer system. So our teaching staff have to move from 1 university to another within 2 or 3 years. There are altogether 159 universities in Myanmar. They are situated all over Myanmar. We have to move from technological university to University of Computer Studies and Arts and Science universities. Transfer of teaching staff is a compulsory. We have to teach different curriculums and different syllabuses in different universities. For that, we do not have sufficient training courses concerned with teaching methodologies. We always have to face the problem of instability of teaching staff. This is the second point, and let's move to the third point. This is our teaching staff memos, and this is our department. And the next topic I'm going to talk about is education in Myanmar. During the last few years, the education level in Myanmar has been left behind the other countries, especially in language education. According to the old education policy, at the basic education level, we practiced standard system, kindergarten to 10th standard. And the students, they can join the universities according to their marks they gain from the matriculation examination. In higher education, the government opened many universities all over Myanmar, but they could not provide sufficient teachers to them. They appointed new teachers without training, and they used the centralization system. They could not give enough training course. So in 2015, we set new education policy. According to the new education policy, in basic education level, we will practice grade system, KG plus 12 system. It is the same system to the other countries. And we have been, since that time, we have been changing step by step, grade by grade. And 2020 and 22 and 23, we will gain the first batch graduates. At the time, the higher education level, we need to modify curriculum syllabus and current curriculum and syllabuses. And at these days, most of the universities are trying to achieve the ISO certificates and to be accredited by the Washington Accord. And some universities are trying to be autonomous universities. But now we are in pandemic period. All schools and universities are closed and we have to stay home, being left behind our schedule. And next topic I'm going to talk about is the contribution of language teacher in universities. In 23rd March 2020, the first COVID patient was found in Myanmar. That is the very first day of our university first semester examination. The university steering committee decided to stop the exam and close the university. We were so worried about the virus and lockdown and stay home. But we have the postgraduate students, they are in their research period. Some are doing their research and some are writing their research paper. So we need to do some seminars and conferences for their requirements. So engineering departments do seminars and conferences by using the online application. As a language teachers, we help them in their language needs. At the same time, although schools and universities are closed, the authorities from the Ministry of Education are seeking the ways to continue our teaching learning situation. The problem for us is that internet connection. Even in big cities like Yangon, Mandalay, and Naypyidaw, we cannot use the internet at any time we want, and the charges are still expensive. So for the first step, the ministry has instructed all the universities to prepare for internet capacity and connectivity, and to make grouping according to the year, major, and department. And it has also instructed all the teachers to prepare online teaching learning curriculum content. So all the universities are trying to strengthen the internet capacity. On the other hand, there are many challenges for the teachers. We are more accustomed to the traditional teaching style. Most of the teachers, basic or tertiary level, we cannot use online application properly. So the authorities plan to give some trainings of digital literacy to the teachers. We are now on this project. So in order to know how the language teachers contributes to To these processes, I set a questionnaire and collected the data. Here is my questionnaire. There are altogether 15 items in my questionnaire, and it is the feedback. And there are altogether 159 universities in Myanmar. The ministry has divided the university into two categories, level A and level B universities. Level A universities are situated in big cities, and level B are in small cities. So I sent questionnaires to the teachers in level A and B universities, and I got feedback from 60 teachers. Now I will present the striking features. And I got the feedback from 40 teachers from level A university and 20 teachers from level B university. They are in different years of age and different service years. And I will going to highlight the striking point. The first one, it can be seen that 70% of respondent teachers are attending online courses during school closure. And among them, 32% are attending one course, and more than 40% are attending the 2 or more courses. It is because they believe that they know that the online courses are very beneficial and very essential for their future career life. And the second one, and nearly half of the respondents get technical support from their institutions. It means that over half, they do not get the technical support from their universities. And so, as I said before, the ministry is trying to give some training courses, and some universities are conducting workshops with the help of the educational consultants. They are also on their process. I think it is very necessary to support the teachers as well as the students with teaching learning aids such as laptops or mobile phone or etc. The next point I would like to highlight is that a small amount of teaching staff can participate in public health awareness activities. And these days, in pandemic period, most of the hostels of the university are used as quarantine centers. And there are so many public health awareness activities and volunteering things in our countries. But unfortunately, most of the teachers, they cannot participate in these activities. I think this is because of almost all the teachers are busy with the capacity building activities, which are implementing their institution's mission. And so many of the universities are on the process of achieving the ISO certificates, and they are trying to be on the way to be accredited by the Washington Accord. And most of the language teacher and all teachers are involved in these activities. So they cannot participate as much as they can. And finally, I would like to conclude that there are many difficulties and challenges these days, since we need to do certain changes in our daily life. Anyway, the contribution of the language teacher in universities is very satisfactory, and the preparation for their self-development is amazing. Actually, we are now much busier and more complicated than our usual life before. But anyway, I hope that we will get ready for new normal life in near future. And this is the end of my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Shafie, for your experiences and presentation. Shafie has presented YTU's background and how education reform in Myanmar and teachers' contribution during COVID-19 outbreak. Just a reminder, dear participants, if you have any question, you can type your question into chat and I'll bring them into to the speaker. Now, I will pass the floor to Dr. Nadhilah.
Okay, thank you very much to Daw Thuzar Win. Okay, I just want to remind, please mute participant microphone, right? Okay, our second speaker is Dr. Mohamad Fadhili Yahaya with his topic, Language Education, the Past, Present, and Beyond. Okay, something interesting. Now we have a pandemic COVID-19 and the future. What can we do? Okay, without further ado, we would like to call Dr. Mohamad Fadhili Yahaya to share his topic. Okay, please welcome.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Dr. Nadhilah. Well, it was very interesting to listen to my counterparts in Yangon, Associate Professor, do I pronounce correctly? Phyu Sein? Yeah. All right. So I have two parts in my presentation. One, I would like to introduce, as I speak, I'm representing not only, well, as Academy of Language Studies, I'm also sharing with you my group. Okay, I will present two parts. The first part is about my group, the SIG group, and the second part is about my topic, language education per se. All right. So this is my group actually. Okay, hold on. Let me share. I haven't shared. Need to reopen. Okay, and never mind about okay. My group is what we call as the Ubiquitous Special Interest Group. We are based in UiTM Perlis, and what we are doing in Ubiquitous Special Interest Group, we assist. Basically, we have the philosophy that there are, if for example, there are multiple and effective approaches of doing work. So then we explore on this particular element. We work on gadgets. We work on apps. And eventually we also train students. We also train postgraduate students in embarking their studies. We provide studies as to how to conduct the research, how to analyze data for that matter. And we have done on our parts. Hold on, if I can share this. All right, okay, yes, I can share this. All right, I hope you can see this. This is what we are doing. This is what we call as Ubiquitous Learning and Teaching Special Interest Group. And we have members from Airlangga. We have UiTM members from UiTM, Universitas Airlangga in Indonesia. We also have members from Institut Tadbiran Awam Negara. And we also welcome members from Yangon, because together we can work on exploring, because when we talk about apps for that matter, there are thousands and thousands of apps, and it is very difficult for us to master everything. In our group, we will train our group members on these particular apps, and we will explore and we provide training to other people. And that is why we welcome people to join our group. And I would like to also welcome my people from Yangon, lecturers from Yangon International Technological University to join our group. All right, okay, now, and this is among the activities we did. Okay, we have the collaboration with Intura. We did personal coaching, ongoing scholarly. We produce a research database tool for academicians, and we provide training on mapping your research area. And this would be especially good for those people who are doing their postgraduate studies. And we also provide this training was also conducted in PSU, right? And we also conducted this kind of training in Airlangga when we were in Airlangga. I think it was last year. Yes, it was last year. We went there for 1 week and we provide the training. And hopefully, if we get the opportunity, we can have what Dr. Latisha mentioned just now, staff mobility, and we can go there and can train your academicians, or we can have online training for that matter in providing in dealing with this particular situation, in dealing with the pandemic, in dealing with online teaching, and dealing with research for that matter. All right. Now that is the first part of what I'm going to I would like to talk. Now let's move to my hold on. All right. Okay. Now, what I would like to talk, what they asked me to talk about is on language education, challenges and issues of the past, present, and beyond. Now, basically, because I have 15 minutes or so, that is why I'm a bit fast on this particular session. Hopefully, it can get through. Okay, my objective is basically I would like to discuss on the challenges and issues of language education of the past, specifically pre-COVID era, and then I will discuss on the present and future challenges while and post-COVID, era. All right. So when we talk about language education of the past, okay, the pre-COVID area. Pre-COVID era for that matter, and you find that language learning or teaching for that matter were conducted face-to-face, and this is the norm. And from time to time we may experience changes that happen. Now most often it is gradual, and also in terms of materials, people use online platform, but these online materials are used as aids, aids as in and SNLCs, yeah. But then this is an option. A lot of people doesn't want to use the online materials. They would rather use what is printed on a piece of paper. All right. But in 2008, you notice that, okay, massive open online courses were actually introduced. Yeah? So as a result, you find a lot of universities have encouraged the development of MOOC and blended learning. But then it comes to the issues when we produce MOOC and blended learning, and it comes to the issues of logistics, accessibility of the students, the trust on the part of the educators, whether the educators are actually teaching for that matter, or whether the students are actually engaged in learning for that matter. And there is the issues of, okay, what are the teachers and the students' role for that matter? And there is also the question of the sources that teachers can use, the support system that is available as far as the universities and the students are concerned. And most importantly, at that time, the issues has been, okay, the students' engagement. Pre-COVID area, we noticed that when we have face-to-face classroom, the engagement is rather positive, because you can actually see the students how they respond to the lesson and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. And to a certain extent, some academicians feel that, okay, to have a lessons online lesson would not be right at that time. Would not be right, because they would rather have a face-to-face rather than online lesson. Right. Okay. And then, okay, when the COVID-19 is in place, when we are inflicted with COVID-19, as in now and perhaps beyond for that matter. And COVID-19, you notice that it is a test of grit, especially in relation to our resilience, the resilience of our education system, the resilience of our teachers or educators, and the resilience of our students to learn. Because we have to put the trust in this particular element, the teachers, the students, for that matter. And at that time, education, well, to a certain extent, I would say, it was in a state, it is in a state of chaos. So everybody becomes panic. Now, what started as a pedagogy becomes a pedagogy, for that matter. But you notice this is expected. This is expected because the world at that time, the world at this moment, and perhaps beyond, it becomes a VUCA world. A VUCA world. VUCA is actually an acronym produced by Warren Bennis and Bert Nanus, 1987. Now, what I mean by VUCA? VUCA means, okay, the first one is what we call as volatility. Volatility means, okay, everything keeps on changes, a lot of changes. And these changes are rapid. It is rapid. And okay, because the changes are rapid, okay, everybody get nervous. Everybody were afraid. There at that moment, administrators come up with policies, all sorts of policies. Uh, okay, uh, and there is also that stands for V. Yeah? And there is what we call as a state of uncertainty. Uncertainty. Yeah, because we are not sure what's going to happen. Huh? Uh, uh, COVID-19 creates a situation where we are unsure of almost everything. We are not sure whether the students are learning. We are not sure whether the lecturers are doing their work. We are not sure whether the students are actually engaging with our classroom, with our lesson. We are not sure whether our lessons work, whether what we teach gets through our students. And we notice that there is a third element, which is what we call as complex. Because everything is so complicated. There are so multiple elements that we need to consider. We talk about accessibility of the students. We talk about accessibility of the lecturers, the time, whether it is the right time. And some lecturers, you notice, I notice based on what my daughter experienced, her lecturers produce a lot of assignment to compensate the face-to-face learning. Now, that's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing. Okay, and there is another elements, which is what we call as ambiguity. Things are blurred. Things are blurred. Now, the VUCA world is actually what we are experiencing, and what we will be experiencing for the next maybe 4 or 5 years. All right. Okay. The best part is, okay, because of this VUCA situation, those people who say, okay, blended learning is not right or online teaching is not right, are suddenly now being forced to say, okay, this is the best method. This is the best method. Blended learning, for that matter. Right? Now, that is what I find that is interesting. Yeah. All right. And then there is an issue when we talk about the present and the beyond and uh, uh, language education, for that matter. We talk about, okay, the issues of what are the roles of the teachers. What does the teacher have? What do the teachers have to do? What do the students have to do? Can we trust the students to work on their own? We provide assignment, for that matter. Can they work on their own, or are they? Do they have a what do you call this? An illegal group who suddenly discuss together with their friends, for that matter, and produce, okay, this is my work, and suddenly you notice that the students are performing well, for that matter. Okay, and the considering the issues, the sources that what are the sources that the teachers can use? Because when we talk about uh, pedagogy, for example, there are a lot of materials on the webs. and which one is the right materials, which one is the right materials. So everything becomes havoc for that matter. And then the issue of proficiency of technology, whether the students or the lecturers, the students may be proficient in technology, but the lecturers, I don't know, I do not know. Huh? The students, which they come from the the Y generation, the millennial, the post millennial generation, while they by right they should be proficient, but to us, the Generation X, or the Alpha, for that matter, we may have what do you call this problem with technologies. Yeah, and and then there is the issue of the support system. Are the support systems available? Huh? And then, okay, producing this particular language lesson, or curating, for that matter, the language lesson, you notice that the students are working with, for example, if you post, okay, you need to work on based on this particular website or whatnot. When they work on their website, and then there is the issue of, are we still relevant? Because they do not need us to work on their work, to work on their study. So, and then this is the issue. This is a pressing issue. I feel that it is uh, because if, for example, the students can work on their own, then the issue of us being relevant is something that is scary, because we may not have any work, any job for that matter, Yeah. But then, okay, then we need to work on something else. The teachers can be a service provider for that matter. Service provider. All right. All right. So this is what I okay. As far what I would like to conclude here is that, okay, we were fed with a lot of ideas. We were fed with ideas, for example, like if we fail to plan, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Now, I beg to differ on this. I feel that if we stick to the plan, we plan to fail. The key here is to be able to adapt. The teachers, the language teachers, the language educators, the educators in general, they need to be able to adapt. Okay, last week I shared with my colleagues in UiTM Perlis about river Choluteca in Honduras in South America. Okay, the interesting thing about, I've never been to Honduras. I've never seen this particular river. What I would like to tell you a story about this particular river is, okay, this river or this part of Honduras was famous for storm and thunderstorm. So the government decided to build a very strong bridge that can stand the test of weather. And they appointed, if I'm not mistaken, Japanese contractor, and they managed to build a very strong bridge, a very strong bridge. Well, and in 1998, Honduras experienced the worst storm in history. They received 75 inches of rain in 4 days. Okay, the bridge, it met the purpose, which is it remained intact because despite the storm being strong and whatnot, the bridge remained intact. But the problem is the weather, the well, has shifted the river, making the bridge useless and pointless. Yeah. So this is a lesson that we need to learn. Yeah? The thing is, okay, what we need to do, we may have a very strong idea about what language education is like, or what education should be to our students. Whatever we have, whatever we develop, we need to be able to adapt. We need to learn to adapt. Once we learn to adapt, and we can become flexible. Once we become flexible, whatever things, whatever weather, whatever temperature that comes, we can prevail. We can prevail. So no matter changes that happens with technologies and whatnot, because as you notice that okay, every 6 months, technologies, one particular technologies become obsolete. Yeah? So we need to learn, and we need to learn and unlearn new technologies from time to time. Yeah. All right. And then, okay, in relation to this, okay, in relation to what I presented on VUCA just now, the most important is we need to fill the gap that is left. We need to respond in response to VUCA. Okay, although the things, it can be volatile. So in order to address this, we need to have a vision. We need to develop certain vision. In order for something that is uncertain, you need to understand the situation. Understand the situation. Yeah? In order for things that somehow complex, for that matter, what you need to do is to have the courage to work, the courage to experience, the courage to do things. That is, for example, at that time, people that at this moment, people may consider, okay, this is something that is not right, but you need to have the courage. Once you have the courage, okay, what may seem at that time to be not right is actually the best thing in future. Yeah? And and finally, we need to have for some things that is ambiguous, we need to be agile. We need to be flexible. Need to be flexible. So with that, I leave. Thank you, Dr. Nadhilah, for this opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Latisha, for organizing this webinars. Thank you to my counterparts in Yangon International Universities, Yangon Technological Universities, matter. All right. Okay, and then I pass this to you, Dr. Nadhilah. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Mohamad Fadhili. Dr. Mohamad Fadhili. Okay, so for future, we must get ready. Always get ready. Okay. For present, for the beginning of COVID-19, we will get panic because past we conduct teaching and learning in the class, we conduct face to face. But now in the present, when we have COVID-19, we use online platform. At the beginning, maybe it's quite complicated to learn a lot of things for online learning, online teaching and learning. But after that, yes, I think we're now ready. Just get ready for uncertain future. Okay, now I will pass to next Daw Thuzar Win to introduce next speaker. Okay, Daw Thuzar Win.
Thank you. Okay. Let me introduce our second speaker from Yangon Technological University, Daw Thuzar Win, a lecturer of the Department of English at Yangon Technological University, Myanmar. She received her master's degree in English for specific purposes from Mandalay Technological University, MTU. And her research interests are professional development, classroom management, and curriculum development. Now, she will be shedding light on digital literacy and professional development for language teachers to overcome the future challenges. Welcome you, Teacher Daw Thuzar Win.
Thank you. Hello. Hello, good morning, everyone. Today, I want to discuss about the digital literacy and professional development for language teachers to overcome future challenges. I am Daw Thuzar Win, a lecturer from English Department, Yangon Technological University. Can you see my PowerPoint slide, Dali?
Uh, no, I can't. Just stop presenting. It shows stop presenting.
Yes. Okay, I will try it now. Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay, but I want you to enlarge your slides. Oh,
Yes.
stop presenting again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. Try it again. Please, try it again. Yes, it's okay. No. You change your tab.
We can see a slide now.
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
Okay, now we can see a slide.
You can see?
Something wrong.
Yes, I will try it again. So, yeah. My entire screen. This one?
Daw Thuzar Win. Yes.
Yes, is that okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Can you see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you please enlarge
So,
it?
yes. So,
Yes, it's okay
before
now. Yes.
yes, before we start my discussions, I want to show you the outlines of my presentation. I will discuss four main parts. The very first one is the role of digital literacy in modern teaching learning process. The second one is professional development for language teachers. The third one is teacher attitude towards professional development. And the last one is how to cope with the future challenges as a language teacher. So the aims of my presentation is I want all of you to share, I want all of you to realize the importance of the digital literacy, especially in pandemic area. And then I want to share some knowledge of professional development strategies. This is my aim of my presentation. So the very first thing we need to know here is what is digital literacy? Because digital literacy plays a crucial role in our daily life, especially in this pandemic period, because we need to create some online courses and we need to create some PowerPoint slides and we need to upload them online for our students. So what is digital literacy? Digital literacy is the awareness, attitude, and ability of individuals to appropriately use of digital tools. And it can identify, assess, manage, integrate, evaluate, analyze, synthesize digital resources. And then digital literacy means we can construct new knowledge. Then we can create media expressions and communicate with others. So this is about the digital literacy. So digital literate can imply the ability to understand media and can search and being critical about retrievable information, and he can communicate with others through a variety of digital tools and applications, for example, mobile and internet, by using mobile and internet. So the next one I want to discuss is the role of digital literacy in modern teaching learning process. In those days, technology is more advanced and advanced. So digital literacy is the basic needs for all of us, not only for the teacher, but also all person from respecting their fields. So in our teaching learning process, especially in language teaching system, we can use computer assisted language learning core. We can use this kinds of learning system, but in our Myanmar country, we can't use such kinds of teaching system. And then some online, offline teaching learning platforms are using in those days, for example, Latisha, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. And then I want you to know about top 8 online learning platforms. They are Canvas, Moodle, Elmodo, Schoology, Saga, Shopee, iJuice, and Google Classroom. Among these 8 online learning platforms in our Myanmar country, Moodle and Google Classrooms are most popular. Some universities in our Myanmar country are using Moodle for their teaching learning process. But and some university they are using Google Classroom, and then some university they are using Zoom and Microsoft Teams and Google Meet for their online teaching learning process in those days. So benefits of using technological devices in language classroom. How benefits can we get from using technological devices in our language classroom? The very first one is it can increase students' engagement and motivation. And then it can offer mobility. Beyond the classroom, they can use these mobile devices wherever they are. And they can practice by using their mobile phone beyond the classroom. And then time saving for teachers. For example, we can create by using mobile phone and laptop for our lectures. So for doing this, we can save our time. And then being familiar with digital devices by using technological devices in language classroom, we not only the teacher, but also the students can be familiar with digital devices. And then it can promote learner independent skills. For example, if they want to practice more than other students in their classroom, they can practice by using their mobile devices or by using their technological devices. And then the last one is it can provide students access to target culture. For example, they can watch and listen to their target culture, target language by watching movie and video. They can know about the specific cultures of their target language. So there are so many benefits of using technological devices in language classroom. I have mentioned some of them. So here, but all of you know that some of the teachers have the awareness of they have the limitation of the awareness of their digital literacy. So I asked some questions for my research. In my research questionnaire, there are 10 questions, but here I want you to explain. I want you to express my obvious points for my questionnaire. For the very first and second question in my questionnaire, they answer 78% of the teachers answer no for those two questions. The questions are: do you understand the basic functions of computer hardware components, for example, CPU or hard disk? So by looking this figure in our Myanmar country, most of the teachers have they don't have the limitation of the awareness of their computer hardware components, even though they can use the software and even though they can use properly some application. And then the second question here is 78% answer no do you use a computer connected to the internet at university? 22% of the teacher answer yes. So by looking this figure, most of the university have these questionnaires are these answers are from all around our country, from the remote areas and from the teachers of the remote area of our country. So some of the most of the teachers, they can get the internet facility from their university. So we can see that it is the lack of the limitation of the infrastructure for the internet facility. The next obvious points here is, can you send, question number 7, can you send and receive attachment through email messages? By looking this figure, 87%, nearly 90% of the teachers, they can do this easily. So by looking this figure, most of the teachers in our Myanmar country can use email, and they can download some attachment from email. Is easy for all of them. And then the next one here is, can you download and save files from the web? Is also 87% and 30%. So most of the teachers from our country, they can save files from the web. They can search their related files, such kinds of things. So this is the figures of the attitudes toward digital literacy of the language teacher from our Myanmar country. So the next one here is, I want you to ask a question. I want to ask a question for all of you. My question here is, nowadays, what skills do we need for our digital generation? So I have mentioned above, there are so many skills we need. There are so many challenges we are facing. So what skills do we need for digital generation? Our digital generation. Okay, this is my questions for all of you. So the next topic I want to discuss here is the professional development for language teacher. Professional development is very important for not only for the teacher, but also all of the person in their respective fields, because we need to upgrade our skills more and more to create more and better environment, better workplace. So what is professional development? Professional development is skills, knowledge, ongoing learning opportunities. Learning opportunities include college degree, coursework, attending conferences, and training sections. So professional development is also individual hopes for promotion or a new job or improvement for their job performance. A professional development program range from attending workshop to entire academic courses. So we need to know about the professional development is not only from the formal teaching from formal classroom, but from the informal classroom. We can get some knowledge related with our work from our environment. By attending the workshop, by attending the seminars, we can get some knowledge and we can upgrade by ourselves. It's also one kind of the professional development strategies as an informal way. So here I have next questions for all of you. Do you know effective professional development strategies? There may be so many kinds of effective professional development strategies. Among them, how many kinds of professional development strategies? Do you know about that? There may be so many kinds of professional development strategies, but you can give me some examples of professional development strategies now you are using in your real life. So for this topic, I asked some questions to my colleagues and my friends all around the world related with the professional development. So I used 3 questions for my research. The very first question is, do you think that professional development is important? I just need to know here is yes or no. And the second question is, do you know effective professional development strategies? And the third one is, what strategies do you employ for your effective and professional development. For example, peer coaching, study group, action research, mentoring, teaching portfolio, in-service training, and team teaching. So which one are you using in your daily life? There may be so many kinds of professional development strategies, but I just mentioned 7 kinds of effective professional development strategies in my research. So let's look at their answer. Their attitudes towards professional development. The very first question, do you think that professional development is important? So for this question, their answer are 92% of the teachers, they think that professional development is very important, but 8% of the teachers, they have no idea about this, whether professional development is important or not. They have no idea about this. For the second question, do you know effective professional development strategies? For this question, 48% of the teacher answer yes, but 62% of the teacher says no. By looking at this figure, we can know, and 50% of the teachers, they know about the effective professional development strategies, but they don't know all about the professional development strategies. Here, 62% of the teacher, they say no for this. So the next question here is, what strategies do you employ for your effective and professional development? I have just mentioned there are 7 kinds. I use seven types of professional development strategies. And then in our Myanmar country, in-service training is the most popular professional development strategies. Second most popular one is mentoring, and the third most popular one is study group. And then the fourth most popular one is team teaching. At the same time, teaching portfolio is the least and the least popular one for all of us. We don't know about this exactly. We have no idea about this. And then the next one is action research. But now we are doing some research for our teaching learning process. So some of the teachers from our Myanmar country, they have some awareness about the action research. And then the next one is peer coaching. So this is also, we can know about the attitudes of the teachers, attitudes of the teachers from our Myanmar country on the effective professional development strategies. So in this digital age, in this pandemic period, COVID-19 pandemic period, what skill do we need to meet the challenges in our future or at the present time? So we need to upgrade our skills. So how to cope with future challenges? As for me, my idea for this question is we need to apply useful professional development strategies. We need to keep up with the modern technology. And then the last one is by sharing knowledge among department staff. So let me conclude my presentation here is we need to upgrade our professional skill by doing such 3 things. This is my example. There may be so many ideas for this topic. My idea for this here is we need to apply our useful professional development strategies, and we need to keep up with the modern technology, and we need to share knowledge among department staff. And I want to conclude my presentation with the I want to conclude with my presentation by reviewing all my presentation. I have discussed about the what is digital literacy. The most important digital literacy is important for all of us. And the second topic I discuss here is the importance of the professional development for the teachers. And the last here is how to cope with future challenges. So that's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Teacher Daw Thuzar Win, for your thoughts and research. Your topic is interesting. So you have presented the importance of digital literacy, second point, effective professional development strategies. Then we teachers should upgrade our digital skills and professional development. So we could do a teaching learning process with digital natives generation. Thank you. Now I hand over to
Thank you.
Dr. Nadhilah. Please, Dr. Nadhilah, mute your microphone. Unmute your microphone.
Sorry, I forgot my microphone. Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Lin. Okay, it is my pleasure to introduce our third speaker, Ms. Noor Azira Mohamad Radzi, with her topic online and distance learning experiences of a Malaysian language lecturer. Let us welcome her. Madam Noor
Okay,
Azira.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay.
Very good morning to everybody. Hold on. Mm.
Azira, do you want me to share the slides?
Yeah, can you?
Okay, I try.
I'm trying here. Wait. Okay, I can do, okay. Okay, I can, all right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So this is just my experience. Hold on. Okay, my online and distance learning experiences. All right, so online and distance learning experiences from a Malaysian language lecturer. All right, so I think that everybody has experienced a difficult start when we first started because everything is new, everything is so difficult, different, and all that. But later, as we go along the process of getting to know what to do, what to be used to, then I think it's better day by day. All right, the next slide, please. Okay, so things that I found most surprising about online learning is number one, online education is hands-on. You cannot do something that you don't know. So, you know, being a lecturer, being a student, both parties needs to hands-on. It's kind of difficult at first because yes, we did a few times of online education, but not 100%. But after the 18th of March 2020, everything is online. So if you do not know how to do it, you are not used to it, you have to do it. Okay, but when you hands-on, then only you know there's a lot of things that you discover. All right, and you need to explore a lot of things, a lot of application. For example, like it is quite difficult to use Zoom or Meet or Google Classroom and everything. Then the next one is about online courses are not second best alternative to face-to-face classes. I find that it is at par with the face-to-face. The only thing is when you are face-to-face, it's easier for you to scold your students. But online courses are the best. It gives you a chance to make sure that your education and also whatever that you are trying to teach will be online. All right, the next one is online education encourages lots of human interaction. This is very true. For example, like me and my colleagues, there's one day we were trying to figure out how to use the internet or the application to make our test. So one of our colleagues becomes our tutor. So in a way, it encourages a lot of human interaction via social media, via apps, WhatsApp and all that. So in a way also, it builds a long-lasting relationship because before the pandemic, everybody is just going solo. Because why? Because everybody is doing their own work. But now, since we do not know a lot of things, then we have to try and figure out on our own. So friends are the ones that help us. And It's good because when we have tutoring among colleagues, and not only for students but also among colleagues, we need that. There's a lot of support that we need. Why? Because there are so many things online that we don't understand, and by trying and error, this is becoming, a good thing for us both, the students and also the lecturers. The next one is does not cater to only one learning style. There's so many things. Some students prefer visual. Some students prefer vlogging when they are doing their writing. So it's a good style. Whatever it is, you have to make sure that you can cater to every style. You try, because when online education, we can explore many things. So there is no need to only concentrate only to one learning style. And I feel also that it is surprising. You need to become a student yourself. Why? Because you need to study before you want to do something. For me, I felt that, before I discovered this online education, at first I thought that it's quite easy and everything, but surprisingly you need to study before you do something, especially online education. Why? To make sure that everybody, especially my students, will have the opportunity to understand and also to know what I'm trying to teach. Not only we are trying to make sure that everybody knows what they are doing, but we also study to learn something online. Okay, the next one, Latisha. All right, the benefits for students. Yes, students learn more than they do in traditional courses. Why? Because they integrate a lot of things in their work, especially like right now we don't have face-to-face classes. So students, they have their own video. They can communicate via WhatsApp, video conference and conferencing, and also they can call each other by Skype and classroom, Google Classroom and everything. So the assignments are not like our traditional assignments also. They have to send videos, they have to send recordings, they have to learn how to communicate via apps and everything. So in a way, they learn more than what they do in traditional courses. Online learning also requires less of a time investment, meaning that they can come, they should come during class hours, but sometimes they learn according to their own time, and also they also use whatever that they need at their own time, meaning that if they are passionate about the subject, if they are what you call that, they are slower than the rest, then they can find their own time to do their own research. And more frequent assessments can reduce distraction. Okay, assessments can become more on ongoing process. Okay, therefore they can find their own time. Okay, regular tests have students distraction, but of course the lecturers need to program whatever assessments that they want, and also how they are going to do their own teaching materials and everything according to the sequence. Because by having a proper sequencing, it is easier for everybody to have uh, and a better understanding, and also can reduce distraction. And also, as you can see, that e-learning is the greener option, and it is much more fun. I discovered that my students, especially my diploma students, they like to do more videos. They like to interact on videos. They like acting. They like vlogging, rather than the traditional exercise whereby they have to write on paper, send in their essays, send in their write up and everything. So in a way, it is much more fun. And when it is more fun, students find that, English is not that boring. and they have included a lot of things. For example, like songs and poems and everything. So I think it's kind of fun to do something, and especially at these depressing times where we all of us are being quarantined. Okay, the next one. All right. When we are doing online courses, as said earlier by my counterparts, you have to um, pay attention to the course learning objective, and also just now we course learning objective is not just for the students but also for the lecturers. Yes, we need to know what we should do. We need to know what we are supposed to teach. Why? Because that is the main course, the main core that we need to do. All right, even for the students, they have to be clear of what is the learning objective. All right, and you need to ask your students and also yourself to read and practice everything before you start the class. Okay, for example, like today we have I have practiced how to put on the my slides, but as you can see that Dr. Latisha is the one who's putting up my slides and everything. And also, we have to ask questions. The most frequent question that the lecturers always ask, even me and my colleagues were pondering whether our students understand what we are trying to say or what we have taught them. Do they understand? Why don't the students ask questions, and all that? So just to make sure, okay, you need to ask questions. Okay, how? By making connections with students. How? Maybe you can have WhatsApp groups, you can have your own media social groups whereby you can text everybody and help out with everybody with whatever that you need to know. Because sometimes students, when they are on online, they are not physically there, but they will ask you questions later. All right. Then, yes, collaborate. Collaborate online courses. Like now, what we are doing, we are collaborating with with other universities, and right now I am also collaborating with my alma mater in KL. We are trying to help out the new training teachers on giving out how our experiences as teachers before and what happened and everything. So in a way, it's a good thing. Online education given us the opportunity to collaborate better. Then after that, the students and lecturers also are able to meet the minimum requirements for the program. Yes, of course. As said earlier, there's a lot of problems when you are starting your online education. But we have to understand that uh, the lecturers and students are trying to meet the minimum requirements. Um, for the results, yes, some get a lot of distinctions and some might fail, but it all depends on the students. And as lecturers, we try to minimize the failures, but of course, there will be some, like one or two students that might fail. So we can try to minimize, okay, the requirement for the program. And also, we can accept critical thinking and decision making as part of the learning process. Because when we do online learning, there's a lot of things to consider as well. It is not as the plain face-to-face learning process whereby everything is being documented and everything. Yes, online education also we document it, but it is much more critical and decision making in a part of the student's life. Why? Because I felt that the students, they are in charge of their own education, and they need to learn and think what is the best for them. Some everything on their own, they try to do everything on their own, and some collaborate, And there are so many things that we can do. All right. And if the students sometimes, yes, we lecturers need to, ask students, because sometimes the students are more adept in the IT. Like for example, like what Dr. Fadhili has said earlier, that sometimes lecturers are not really, they don't know much about the whole thing, especially on the online education, and the students are much more further in their apps, application learning process. So, yes. And the last one is to be able to think ideas through before responding. Okay, so the whole thing. Okay, sometimes we will get time, some time to think about the whole process. Then only we can give answers later. So I think it is good when we want to do online courses. Okay, I think everybody now is having the same no painful and difficult times or experiences with the students, but the thing is, we try to minimize whatever painful experience that we have, because I think that by getting to know the students well during this crucial time makes our life easier. Okay, last time, yes, when we are having classes face to face, we are not that intimate with them. But now when we are doing online courses, we felt that we know them. Why? Because some of my students even, they have texted me no matter what time, so I will answer them whenever I'm free, because they will ask me all sorts of questions. So I think from there, that's a good thing about online courses. Okay, so if you have anything to ask, then you can ask via the chat or what. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Nur Azira, for her insights. Okay, from this topic, we understand that there are a lot of things to learn. At the beginning, we have to choose which online platform is suitable for our students and which is not. So the benefits of online learning, we know that we can build lasting relationships with our friends, and also we can have a good communication with our students. Okay, now I will pass to Daw Thuzar Win for the next speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Nadhilah. Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce one last speaker, Daw Zarchi Yu Aung. She's a lecturer of the Department of English and Technological University. She graduated with MA Master of Arts English from University of Maghreb in 2007. Then she worked as a demonstrator at the Department of English at Technological University Maghreb in 2008. Then she published 2 international conference papers and 2 university journal papers. We are thrilled to have her here today to discuss the benefits and challenges of the language teachers in creating the flipped classroom during the COVID-19 period. Let us welcome her. Hello, Dr.
Ali, can you see my slide?
Yes, we can see and hear you.
Can you hear?
It's okay. You can hear and see your slide.
Dana. Good morning, speakers, moderators, all of the participants and audience, ladies and gentlemen. May I wish you all Mingalaba. I am Daw Zarchi Yu Aung, lecturer from Department of English, Yangon Technological University, Myanmar. It's an honor to participate in this International Scholar webinar in collaboration with UiTM Perlis branch, Malaysia. Today, I would like to present about the exploring the benefits and challenges of the language teachers in creating the flipped classroom during the COVID-19 pandemic period. Here is my outline of presentation. Firstly, I would like to present about the aim of my study. And second one is I would like to present about the introduction. And the third one is what is split classroom. And the next one is synchronous mode and asynchronous mode. And then I will present about materials and methodology that are used for my survey. And then I will discuss about findings and discussion. And then the last one is conclusion. Now, I would like to present about the aim of my study. The aim of this study is to explore the teacher's positions on the benefits and challenges in creating the flipped classroom during the COVID-19 pandemic period. I'm going to move on now to talk about the introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused global social and economic disruption, including the largest global recession. This pandemic has also affected educational systems worldwide, leading to the near total closures of schools, universities, and colleges. In response to school closure, UNESCO recommended the use of distance learning programs and open educational applications and platforms that schools and teachers can use to reach learners remotely and limit the disruption of education. So many schools began conducting classes via web-based video conferencing tools such as Zoom application, Google Meet, etc., and some learning management systems such as Google Classroom model, etc. In our country, I think except for 2 or 3 universities, most universities use traditional place-based classroom methods before COVID-19 pandemic period. But during the pandemic period, we flipped or changed quickly into online learning or online teaching, and we create real-time virtual classroom to limit the disruption of our education system. Now, I would like to about the flipped classroom. What is flipped classroom? Flipped or inverted classroom is a new and popular instructional model. It reverses the traditional learning environment. With the flipped model, students have direct access to the knowledge with their own pace, and the teacher serves as an instructor and mentor. In the flipped classroom, activities traditionally conducted in the classroom become home activities, and activities normally constituting homework become classroom activities. But during the COVID-19 pandemic period, we are restricted to come into the classroom and we reduce face-to-face interaction. So we flipped it to 100% online learning, online teaching, and we create real-time virtual classroom. I would like to move on now to talk about synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous learning is the kind of learning that happens in real time. This means that teachers and students in a specific virtual place through a specific online medium at a specific time. Methods of synchronous learning include video conferencing, teleconferencing, live chatting, and live streaming lectures. Asynchronous learning is a kind of learning happening on our schedule. The instructor, learner, and other participants are not engaged in the learning process at the same time. There is no real-time interaction with other people. Teachers post videos and provide materials for reading, lectures for viewing, assignments for completing, and exams for evaluation. Students have to access on their own time, read at their own pace, and view on their own schedule. Methods of asynchronous learning include self-guided lesson modules, streaming video content, virtual libraries, and poster lectures, notes, and some social media platforms. Now, I would like to present about the materials and methodology that are used for my survey. For this study, what big survey tool Google Fonts was used for data collection and data analysis. The data were collected with web-based survey questionnaire. This questionnaire is created based on the review study by these two authors 2018. All of the questions are multiple choice options. The study population are 11 private and public language teachers who are currently teaching using Zoom application and Google Meet for synchronous mode and Google Classroom Facebook group for asynchronous learning. Now, I would like to present about the findings and discussion. There are 4 types of questions. The first question is the greatest benefits of the flipped classroom. The second one is greatest challenges of the flipped classroom. The third one is the most effective in-class activities, and the last one is the most effective out-of-class activities that are used in the flipped classroom. My questionnaire is based on these 4 categories. Now, before presenting the results of my survey, I would like to ask to all of you, if you use flipped model, what are the benefits and challenges in creating your flipped classroom? Would you mind answering this question? Now, I'd like to present about the results or the greater benefits of the flipped classroom. There are 3 categories for the greatest benefits of the flipped classroom. The first one is teaching and learning outcomes. Second one is pedagogical contributions, and the third one is time efficiency. In the questionnaire, these 3 categories are used for the greatest benefits of the flipped classroom. Firstly, I would like to present about the results of teaching and learning outcomes. In terms of teaching and learning outcomes, there are 5 options. As shown in figure 1, according to the teachers' perceptions, 10 teachers responded that improving digital and technical skills is a greater benefit for them. In the 21st century, we need to competence in digital and technical skills. During this period, we have to use digital learning platforms. In creating digital classroom, such as flipped classroom, we need to be skillful in digital literacy. The second greatest benefit is improving teaching and learning performance. 7 teachers responded to this option. Improving teaching and learning performance is one of the key elements of quality education, and this leads to the educational accomplishment and educational success. So the third greatest benefit is promoting creativity. For this option, 6 teachers responded to this. The flipped model fosters creativity because the materials used in the flipped classroom, such as posting video, creating quizzes and activities, can improve teachers' creative ideas and creative concepts. Teachers' creativity can be a vital factor for stimulating students' learning performance. Now, I would like to present about the results of pedagogical contributions. In terms of pedagogical contributions, there are 8 options. As illustrated in figure 2, enabling individualized learning is the greatest benefit. For this option, 6 teachers responded to this. In the flipped classroom, students receive individual attention during class time and view videos or lectures about new content at home on their own pace. Flipped learning provides a path to personalization or personalized learning, so teachers can create the individualized learning for students. As shown in figure 2, according to the findings, the most significant factors are the response of flexibility in teaching and learning, better preparation before class, and creating actual learning opportunities are the same. These results are the same. So these are the second greatest benefits of the flipped classroom. Now I would like to present about the results of time efficiency. In terms of time efficiency, there are 3 options. As indicated in figure 3, according to the results, more efficient use of class time and getting more time for practice and preparing the lectures are the greatest benefit. There are 6 teachers responding to these questions. In the flipped classroom, students are provided the lectures as homework beforehand, so valuable class time is efficient. Moreover, teachers get more time in preparing the lectures to provide the pre-class activities, and teachers can run the in-class lecture time efficiently. Now, I would like to present about the results or greater challenges of the flipped classroom. There are 3 categories: pedagogical contributions, digital skill, and technological programs and time barriers. In my questionnaire, these three categories are used for the graded challenges of the flipped classroom. Now, firstly, I would like to present about the results of pedagogical contributions. In terms of pedagogical contribution, there are 5 options. As shown in figure 4, 8 teachers responded that increasing instructors' workload for preparing the lectures and teachers and student anxiety about the new method are the greatest challenges. For pre-class materials, teachers prefer many flipped model. Pre-recorded video lectures, video clips for some lectures, design appropriate quiz questions and other out-of-class activities, and then send these materials to students via email, Facebook group, or Google Classroom, etc. Moreover, for in-class lecture, teachers prepare PowerPoint slide, create real-time video class discussion, and other activities. For post-class checking, teacher check the student exercise and give feedback and comment. So, flipped model requires more time and increased workload for teachers. The next challenge is the teachers and student anxiety about the new methods. As I mentioned earlier, during this pandemic period, we start using this split model. So we are anxious about this new method. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, with the advance and increasing use of technology, there has been a rapid change of teaching and learning methods. Teachers have to revise their teaching plans, have to revise their lesson plans, teaching materials, and adapt new ways to interact with students. So teachers think about how to reduce their anxiety, how to reduce students' anxiety, how to motivate students, and how to implement some innovative teaching concepts more effectively, and how to maintain care and guidance for individual students. This is the greatest challenges for the teachers. Now, I would like to present about the results of digital skills and technological programs. The greatest challenges are inequality of technological accessibility and unstable internet connection. For this option, there are 8 features. Since the flipped model requires all students to have access to technology, the accessibility of technology cannot be ignored. There are many difficulties due to unstable internet connection. So lecture time can be hindered by an unstable internet connection and unstable bandwidth. In our country, there are many places where they have no internet access and unstable internet connection. Bandwidth is one of the main problems. Without sufficient bandwidth, the sound drops in and out. At the time, we ask each other to repeat again. This is the main barriers of the flipped model. The next challenge is the need for digital and technical competency. For this option, response is 7 teachers. For the flipped classroom, one of the most important things is to be skillful in digital literacy. Without digital literacy, it cannot be possible to create flipped classroom. The current generation of students is assumed to have digital competency because they are digital natives. They are born with technology. But teachers are digital immigrants. We run after quickly technology. So we need to try to be skillful in digital literacy because insufficient digital and technological skill might be a problem and difficulty that affects in using the flipped model. Now, I would like to present about the results of time barriers. In terms of time barriers, giving more time to study the lessons beforehand and to do and assign the homework is the greatest challenges for students. This is the student difficulties and this is the student problems. But this affects teachers' teaching performance. Students study the learning materials beforehand for in-class lecture time. Do the exercise and assign these exercise and their homework to Google Classroom or post on Facebook group. Some students consider it is an extra time burden. Some students do not study beforehand, do not do their homework, do not assign their homework. This can delay in-class activities. So teachers think about how to motivate students to be personalized learning, how to do their homework, how to assign, how to motivate to assign their homework, and how to make better use of live class hours and how to provide suitable guidance in order to improve students' learning efficacy. Now, I would like to present about the most effective in-class activities that are used in the flipped classroom. For the most effective in-class activities, 6 teachers use breakout room discussion and quizzes. In breakout room discussion, teachers can assign the students into different groups and different roles and run the discussion at the same time. Using quizzes for some questions and activities make the students more interested in their learning and make more active participation in their learning. So active learning in class activities are the main contributions of the flipped model and might be the most influential elements for learning outcomes. Now, I would like to present about the most effective out of class activities. For the most effective out of class activities, using quizzes, giving videos, lectures, giving homework and interactive tutorials and doing collaborative group projects are the most effective our class activities. So teachers need to integrate these activities and tools to make more useful for the students' learning performance and to achieve students' learning success and learning accomplishment. Now I would like to conclude my presentation. In the 21st century, according to the educational reform system with the advance of technology, teachers should have innovative, teachers should be innovative, teachers should be efficient, teachers should be resourceful, and teachers, we should have active knowledge of innovative teaching techniques, and we should have digital skill. Moreover, we should always observe which learning environment and which learning platform students demand, which teaching techniques students prefer, which expectations students expect from their teachers, and which skills and characteristics teachers should possess. So, in upgrading the education system, we need to try to change our role and to become 21st century. As the theory goes, when there is risk, there should be opportunity. The COVID-19 has been disruptive, but it has also created some opportunities, especially for our education system. I hope that our teachers and students can grab these opportunities and benefits from the innovative teaching techniques, and we can observe and handle the ways how to overcome difficulties and challenges from this new model. So when there is risk, there should be opportunity. So this slide is for you. Would you mind thinking about which opportunities do you grab during this pandemic period? Would you mind answering this question? Now, I would like to sincerely acknowledge all of the authors in this reference list. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Terima kasih dan jumpa lagi.
Thank you so much, Daw Zarchi Yu Aung, for your interesting research and presentation. So, what we understand from her presentations are the shift of educational mode during COVID-19 outbreak, the transition from traditional classroom to a flipped classroom, especially online class. Then another point is that the benefits of flipped classroom, such as promoting more detailed learning outcomes and creativity, and the challenges of flipped classroom, like poor connection, internet connection, facilities and support, and also digital skill. Well, I'm here to announce that this is the end of the presentation of the speakers from both institutions, and we'll go ahead and we have time for question and answer Q&A session. I pose to Dr. Nadhilah.
Yes, okay, thank you, Daw Thuzar Win. Now we have finished all the presentations from 6 speakers. I would like to invite panel members to a Q&A session. Let's look at inbox chat first. Okay.
Here we have 2 questions.
Okay. Can you read the first question, Daw?
Yes.
Okay, the question from Dr. Azra Abdullah. The Dr. Phyu.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you count the online teaching at Yangon Technological University? Is there
Yes, thank you. And actually, as I said in our presentation, we are on the process. all the authorities from the Ministry of Education and all universities and all teachers, we are trying to cope with the online facilities, and the most important is the internet connection. And we have the students from all over Myanmar, and we have to think of their situation. So we are trying to strengthen the internet connection capacity first. And then for the teacher side, from the teacher side, we need to learn how to use the application properly. And so we are trying to just try on. So I think that in near future and within 2 or 3 months, we will be ready for the online teaching, and we can use the online platform properly, and we can do and I think that we have we have much knowledge from this webinar, and so we have many more ideas to go with, to catch up with these situations. So thank you for the webinar. And so as my answer is that we are on the process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Associate Prof. Phyu. Okay, next we have, can you read please?
Yes.
Okay, can you read it?
Okay. Yeah, we have some discussion or Daw Thuzar Win's presentation. Yes. Daw Yin's discussion is here. I strongly believe that we teachers need 21st century skills like creative skills, critical thinking skills, communication skills, digital skills, etc. for our digital generation. Yes, I also believe that professional development is very important for teachers. In my opinion, we can polish our skills by doing self-learning, joining online, offline courses, sharing our knowledge and experience to our colleagues via Zoom or Microsoft Teams. I think this is for a professional development.
Yes, I agree also with you and with Wei. There are a lot of things we must learn. We also must be a student, right? Okay. Go to the next
microphone.
Hello, teacher WC, please.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, the next is Wei. I also believe that professional development is very important. Okay, very important. For teachers, in my opinion, we can polish our skills by doing self-learning, joining online or offline courses, sharing our knowledge and experience to our colleagues via Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Yes, I also agree with this because we have a lot of things to learn because not everything we know, right? For example, from using application, app software, new software, maybe some of us do not know how to use certain software, so we can teach them. And we also can do something like teaching, what we call it, peer teaching. For me, as a new lecturer, I need this. I need to learn more from our senior lecturer. Okay, next, Daw Louis, do you see anything?
Another question here from UiTM. Yes. Critical thinking is the skill difficult to improve in online training process. So how can we assess students' critical thinking skills? Yes, a question. Yes. Can you see this?
Any speakers, any panel want to answer this from Phyu about critical thinking? How can we assess the students' critical thinking skills?
Okay, this is just my opinion, right? What we can do would be, for example, if you are doing online discussion, what you need to do would be, perhaps what you can do would be, you have to have a rubric. So I'm using Bernstein and Carroll 2018. So what you need to do would be, there will be certain things: problem identification, clarifying question, logic of argument, evidence, synthesis, the reference to reading, and lastly with problem solving. So I'm using this rubric, and then I'll be saying that the answer, whether they have it, right? But in a simpler way, right? Sometimes I would ask the student a simple question. For example, if they say that, okay, they propose to do something, right? I'll be saying, I'll ask them, right, why do we need this one, right? Let's say, for example, the example would be, if you are selling a refrigerator, a fridge, to an Eskimo, how would you sell it? So sometimes silly questions, silly situation, right? It would make them think, and I will be able to see how critical the way they look at the problem. As long as they look at the problem, they will be able to see a lot of perspective. They can unbox and box. They can construct and reconstruct. And I'll be understanding that they know, they have enhanced their critical thinking. So simple question would be, just give them a simple question, something that needs them to think, all right? And then something that is not simple, something that, like, let's say, for example, if you are given a choice, right? Saving your girlfriend or your mother, what would you do, right? And then I'll be asking, I will be giving the same question to all. Let's say if it is in a group, there'll be, I'll be listening to the group. Why do you say so? If you say this is the answer, why? Justify your answer. From the justification for the example, if they can connect the dot, that means that their critical thinking is enhanced. That's my answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much, Dr. Latisha. Okay, Daw Zarchi Yu, did you see any question in the inbox chat? I think then no more
Yes,
questions.
that's normal, but just a few discussion lines.
Okay, if anyone else want to ask something, you can on your microphone or write in the inbox chat. Okay, I just want to make some important announcements. Please fill in the attendance form given in chat. And tomorrow, there will be 3 webinar series on I am the experts. The Google Meet links are given in chat. You can look it. And what about you, Daw Zarchi Yu? Do you have any announcement to the participants?
As we have no any special announcement. Thank you.
Okay, any question else? Nothing to ask? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, this is the end of our first collaboration. Yes, Latisha?
I'm just saying that Associate Professor Phyu, once I get the one
Yeah.
edit the video, I'll be sharing the video with you. So at least you would have, let's say, a concrete evidence to put in your portfolio. Would that be okay?
Yes, okay, it's okay.
Okay, thank you everyone. That is the end of our first collaboration with International Scholar webinar, Meeting the Challenges of Language Educators During the Uncertain Future. It is organized by Center of Postgraduate Studies, UiTM Perlis branch, with its collaborative partners, Academy of Language Studies, UiTM Perlis branch, and Department of English, Yangon Technological University. I feel more collaborations are installed in the future. Okay, on behalf of UiTM Perlis Arab, I would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to our colleagues from Department of English, Yangon Technological, for sharing their experiences. And thank you to all the participants and speakers. Hopefully this program can provide a positive impact on everyone directly or indirectly. And terima kasih, thank you, syukron, and jumpa lagi. Meet you again. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Phyu, Daw Zarchi Win, Daw Thuzar Win, Daw Zarchi Yu Aung, right? Okay.
On behalf of ITU, I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to teachers, educators, or colleagues from Academy of Language Studies, UiTM Paris branch, for sharing their experiences and for inviting us to participate in this webinar, and also Center of Postgraduate Studies for organizing this webinar.
Thank you, Darling.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the participation. Right.
Terima kasih.
Yeah. Sama-sama. Welcome.
That was it. Azotin Bhakti. I'm not sure whether I'm right or wrong.
Welcome to UiTM Perlis, Daw Zarchi Win. Okay, see you again.
Yes, okay, right.
Thank
I'll
you.
be the last to leave because I got to record off, right? Okay. Thank you very much, Azlina, Adi Afzal, Afiana, Afifa, Amirul Hakim, Daw Zarchi Win, all right, Dr. Mohamad Fadhili, Dr. Naginda, Dr. Nauma, Dr. Sabira, Wei, Puan Fatmawati, Hanani, Pat Winhua, hope I pronounced it rightly, Huzaifa, Kanzin Win, Kamizato, Lai Mon, Mahani, and then Majda, Mon, Yoka, K. Twaimo, Nadhilah, right, Nazato Shima, Nazira Osman, Azira, Shuhada, Norma, Associate Professor Phyu, Razlina, Rose Nilawati, Rose Maiza, Saida, Sharifah Fatima, Shun, Sheda Fariha, Tengku Nazato, Ted Muizin, Thuzar Win, Tintin O, Twelta, Wan Nur Shazlin, Yang Saleha Zaira, and Zarchi Yu Aung. All right. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Yes. Hope to see you again. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
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 I can see a very cute girl over there.
Yeah.
Yu Aung. All right. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Latisha.
Thank you very much for the center of this study. Thank you.
Leaving, Daru.